Welcome to DRTSPR show. This is Dr. Tangella Shiva Prasad Reddy alias Dr. TSPR. Namaste, Adab, hello, and my warm congratulations to our good friend Dr. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who has been sworn in on 13th of this month as US Secretary for Health and Human Rights. So what it means for America and the world, because the Indian Medical Association or Indian Council of Medical Research or the Prime Minister himself who is touring America is in the clutches of the same American lobbies. Hitherto it is Bill Gates. Now Prime Minister is touring America. Now he should understand what is the new policy of America on health and human rights. Still he will continue to associate with Bill Gates and WHO, who have been creating unnecessary fear in the name of pandemics and pumping vaccines instead of improving natural immunity. India is famous for getting exposed to all 4 seasons. So in that pursuit, don't you think we should not be suffering like other continents? तो हम पहले बधाई देते हैं रॉबर्ट एफ कैनेडी जूनियर, जो यूएस सेक्रेटरी, जो स्वास्थ्य और मानव हक की जो बात करते हैं, हेल्थ एंड ह्यूमन राइट्स, उसका उन्होंने कल प्रमाण स्वीकार किया है। तो इसका मतलब क्या है भारत को और अमेरिका को? क्योंकि भारत जो है हर दौर पर वेस्टर्न मेडिसिन अमेरिका दौर देखता है, क्या बदलाव आने वाला है। प्रधानमंत्री स्वयं अमेरिका में है, क्या उनके सोच में कुछ स्वास्थ्य और हमारे हक के इसमें बदलाव आएगी? क्योंकि वो बिल गेट्स के ऊपर जा रहे थे, आज बिल गेट्स की पूरी दुकान खत्म हो जा रही है और WHO की दुकान खत्म हो जा रही है। क्या अभी वो सीखेंगे? और उसी तरह क्या हमारी स्वास्थ्य स्वतंत्र हो जाएगी, शास्त्रीयता के ऊपर ध्यान देगी, सहज रोग निरोधक शक्ति के ऊपर ध्यान देगी, या टीका 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 के ऊपर जो फार्मा और इंश्योरेंस जिस तरह अमेरिका को और दुनिया को बर्बाद किया है। एक अच्छी सांप्रदायी थी टीका की, लेकिन जिस तरह पैसे कमाने की लालच में लोग उनकी आरोग्य, उनकी निवारण भाड़ में जाए, बच्चे भाड़ में जाए, लेकिन उनको पैसे होना। इसीलिए हमने कोविड-19 के टाइम पे भी कहा था टीका में क्या है, और रेमडेसिविर जैसी दवा कोविड-19 को दी गई, उसमें क्या है। तब लोग जाग उठे, क्योंकि हमारी आयुर्वेदिक नेचुरोपैथी इतनी परंपरा है, फिर भी मोदी वेस्टर्न मेडिसिन के ऊपर, भारतीय जनता पार्टी वेस्टर्न मेडिसिन के ऊपर मेक इन इंडिया की बात करते हैं, भारत की बात करते हैं, तो पाश्चात्य चिकित्सा की क्यों गए हैं वही लोग? उनको कुछ समझदारी है क्या? अब तो भी सुधरेंगे क्या? ఇప్పుడైనా మారతారా? రాబర్ట్ ఎఫ్ కెనడీ 13వ తారీఖు అక్కడ ఆరోగ్య మరియు మానవ హక్కుల సెక్రటరీగా, కార్యదర్శిగా ప్రమాణ స్వీకారం చేశారు. దానివల్ల అక్కడ ఆరోగ్యం, హక్కులు అమెరికానే కాదు భారతదేశం ప్రపంచవ్యాప్తంగా మార్పులు రాబోతున్నాయా? ప్రపంచ ఆరోగ్య సమాఖ్య, వరల్డ్ హెల్త్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్ నుంచి బయటకు వచ్చేసింది. CDC, FDA, మనం పొద్దున్న లేస్తే అటే వైపు చూస్తుంటాం అమెరికా, అక్కడ కూడా మార్పులు జరగబోతా ఉన్నాయి. అవినీతిని రూపుమాపుతాను, శాస్త్రీయతను తీసుకొస్తాను అని చెప్పి, పారదర్శకత తీసుకొస్తా అని చెప్పిన వారు కెనడీ. ట్రంప్ కూడా మరి అమెరికాలోనే ఉన్నారు ప్రధానమంత్రి. ఇప్పుడైనా వారు మారుతారా? ఆరోగ్య పరిస్థితుల్లో సహజ రోగ నిరోధక శక్తిపై వారు ధ్యానిస్తారా? WHO నుంచి బయటకు వస్తారా? లేక ఇంకా టీకాలని, ఆ టీకాల వల్ల ఎంత ప్రమాదం, అది నివారణనా? మంచి టీకాలు ఉండే, కానీ వీళ్ళు చేసే ఈ కోవిడ్-19 ముందు తర్వాత చేసేటువంటి కృత్రిమ దీనివల్ల ప్రజలకు విశ్వాసం, ప్రజల ఆరోగ్యం పోతుంది. నివారణ పక్కకు పెట్టు, ఉన్న ఆరోగ్యం పోతుంటే ఇంకా దానిపై శాస్త్రీయతపై చర్చించకుండా ఇండియన్ కౌన్సిల్ ఆఫ్ మెడికల్ రీసెర్చ్ కానీ, మినిస్ట్రీ ఆఫ్ హెల్త్ కానీ, రాష్ట్రంలో ఉండే ఆరోగ్య శాఖలు, ముఖ్యమంత్రులు ఇప్పటికైనా ఈ ఫార్మా ఇన్సూరెన్స్ మాఫియా నుంచి బయటకు వస్తారా? ఈరోజు రాబర్ట్ ఎఫ్ కెనడీ జూనియర్ ప్రమాణ స్వీకారం చేయడం ప్రపంచవ్యాప్తిగా మనము షో కూడా చేశాం. ఆరోగ్యానికి, మానవ హక్కులకు దిక్సూచి కాబోతుందా అంటే అవుననే చెప్పక తప్పదు. ఇప్పటికీ మారకపోతే ప్రజలు తిరుగుబాటు తప్పదు. ఏ విధంగా అయితే కెనడా, యూరోప్లో అయితే ఉందో భారతదేశంలో కూడా అటువంటి దుస్థితే కావాల్సి వస్తుంది. ప్రాచీనమైనటువంటి ఆయుర్వేదం, మనం న్యాచురోపతి ఇవన్నీ వదిలిపెట్టి, సహజ సిద్ధమైనటువంటి వదిలిపెట్టి, ఎస్ అది ఇండియన్ మెడికల్ అసోసియేషన్ కాదు, వెస్టర్న్ మెడికల్ అసోసియేషన్. అక్కడ కూడా మంచి గుణాలు ఉన్నాయి, దాంట్లో కూడా మంచి గుణాలు ఉన్నాయి. సో ఐఎమ్ నాట్ సెయింగ్ యూ డోంట్. దేర్ ఆర్ ఆల్సో గుడ్ థింగ్స్ ఇన్ వెస్టర్న్ మెడిసిన్. ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ Indian Medical Association. They have to change the name to Western Medical Association. Why should we practice Western medicine when you have our own medicine? Why can't we integrate, whether it is Western, Ayurveda, naturopathy, Indian medicine and naturopathy, along with Western medicine? A holistic approach. The patient should be the ultimate one. We should give him relief. We should prevent, and he should stay hale and healthy. So ఆరోగ్యమే కదా మహాభాగ్యం. సో అట్లా ప్రజలు సంతోషంగా ఉండాలి, ఆరోగ్యకరంగా ఉండాలి. అటువంటి ఆచరణనే కదా ముఖ్యం మనకు. అక్కడ వెస్టర్న్ మెడిసిన్ అయితే ఏంది, పాశ్చాత్యపు చికిత్స అయింది, మన భారత ఆయుర్వేద న్యాచురోపతి చికిత్స అయింది. అన్ని కలిసి రోగిని బాగు చేయడం, నివారించడం, ఇది ముఖ్యం కదా. क्या हम निवारण के दौर पर वो पाश्चात्य जो चिकित्सा है या हमारी भारत सांप्रदायिक आयुर्वेदा, वो सब मिलाकर रोग को दूर करना और निवारण करना, ताकि हम स्वस्थ से हम जी सके. क्या ये हमारी सोच नहीं रहना चाहिए? क्यों हम फार्मा और इंश्योरेंस और फूड कारपोरेट की माफिया में जाकर हमारी स्वास्थ्य को बैठ रहे हैं, संतोष को बैठ रहे हैं, और एक देश स्वास्थ्य देश रहने का हर दफा ये एग्जामिनेशन, वो एग्जामिनेशन, डायग्नोस्टिक्स, और उसके ऊपर जो केमिकल दवा, कितने साल और हम इससे भुगतते रहेंगे. इसीलिए ये एक दुख सूची है. आज रॉबर्ट एफ कैनेडी एक कार्यदर्शी के रूप में वहां नियुक्त हुए हैं. स्वास्थ्य और हक दोनों ऐसे मुद्दे हैं जो शासित करता है दुनिया को. चलो देखते हैं पहले एक वीडियो हम. Once again, I congratulate Trump as well as his cabinet, newly sworn in cabinet, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as Health and Human Rights Secretary. Wonderful. That's why we were trying through DRTSPR channels, day in and out, we were saying there will be a seesaw change. He will move away from WHO, no one believed. And what it marks to the World Health.
Thank you very much. It's a great honor to have Prime.
Sorry, we have come back to the other video.
Hi everyone, let's have a look at the spacious 3 BHK plus 4 gut-free home, a flat that's
This to lead a great national mission to make America healthy again. He's going to do it. I think he's going to do things that.
Just trying to get rid of this. Bear with me. Kindly bear with me. I'm trying to just remove this. Trying to come back to. Yeah.
To lead a great national mission to make America healthy again. And he's going to do it. I think he's going to do things that will really make us very proud of this day. Like his father, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and his uncle, President John F. Kennedy, Bobby has devoted much of his life to serving his fellow Americans in his campaign for president. And he was a very tough competitor. I did not like it at all. I said, let's get him on my side. But in his campaign for president in 2024, Bobby brought together a coalition of supporters across party lines, and he really worked very hard. And he had tremendous support, unbelievable support, and I think a lot of that support came my way when we decided to do a little merger, and it was really great. And it was very loyal, incredible people. They believe in him so strongly because he's a fierce advocate for the health of our children and for the values of free speech, democracy, and peace. And people are going to be very impressed, I have no doubt. Perhaps most importantly, though, Bobby created a nationwide movement made up of millions and millions of mothers and fathers and young people and concerned citizens of every background who want to end and this horrible chronic disease crisis that exists in America. He's absolutely committed to getting dangerous chemicals out of our environment and out of our food supply and getting the American people the facts and the answers that we deserve. After years in which our public health system has squandered the trust of our citizens, and they really have. They don't trust us. They don't trust anybody, frankly. They've gone through hell. There's no better person to lead our campaign of historic reforms and restore faith in American health care.
This AI tool is better than Midjourney for one-time cost because
you can create unlimited AI images with accurate text for a one-time cost.
And Bobby's going to do it. The United States spends more money in health than any other country on earth, but we're growing sicker every year. We're not as healthy as countries that spend just a fraction of what we spend. So there's something wrong. He's going to figure it out. In recent decades, we've seen staggering increases in cancer rates across all age demographics, including more than 40% increase in childhood cancer since 1975. Who can believe that? And an explosion in other chronic childhood illnesses. Not long ago, 1 in 10,000 people, children, had autism. Now it's 1 in 36. Think of that. 1 in 10,000. 1 in 10,000. Now it's 1 in 36. Who can believe that? There's something wrong. There's something wrong. And I think it's something that can be found out. In 2022, more than 40% of children had at least one chronic health condition, and today nearly 80% of young adults do not qualify for military service, in large part for health reasons. Think of that, 80%. Something is wrong, and that's why immediately after Bobby is sworn in, I will be signing an executive order establishing the President's Commission to Make America Healthy Again. We have some great people on that commission, chaired by our new secretary. This groundbreaking commission will be charged with investigating what is causing the decades-long increase in chronic illness, reporting its findings, and delivering an action plan to the American people. And it's going to be a plan that people are really waiting to hear. Bobby, I want to thank you. You've gone through a lot. It's taken great courage. You've been amazing, actually. I'd call him. I'd say, you're going to be okay. And he said, I know. I really do. He's really been supported amazingly by Cheryl and his family. And it was a very nasty group of people that were after him, but he was tougher and he was smarter than they are. And that's why he's here today. There are very few people that could have withstood the assault, but he was able to. So I just want to congratulate you. And we have a very special person here to swear you in, a man that I think has done I think he's just an amazing man. As you know, his name happens to be Gorsuch, and he's a member of the Supreme Court in extremely good standing. He's highly respected by everybody. And I didn't know, are you two friends or something? Or did this just happen to be Justice? Did this just happen to be the luck of the draw? What happened? Did you reach out? Well, you reached out to a very good man. So please, if you would, thank you very much. This has to be done. I'm going to make this a good one, right? Good. It's a 10.
Right. I, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Do solemnly swear. That I will support and defend. That I will support and defend. The Constitution of the United States. The Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies. Against all enemies. Foreign and domestic. Foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely. That I take this obligation freely. Without any mental reservation. Without any mental reservation. Or purpose of evasion. Or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully discharge. And that I will well and faithfully discharge. The duties of the office. The duties of the office. On which I am about to enter. On which I'm about to enter. So help me God. So help me God. Congratulations, Mr. Secretary. I want to begin by thanking President Trump for giving me this extraordinary opportunity. And I want to introduce my family and thank them for being here. My wife, Cheryl, my cousin, Anthony Shriver, my daughter, Kik, my other daughter, Kira, Catalina Shriver, Joey Shriver, Jackson Hines, and Amaryllis Kennedy. Oh, and I want to thank all of you for your support and throughout this whole 2.5-year journey. My first time in this Oval Office was in 1961, and I came here to meet, or 1962. I came here and I had a meeting with my uncle, who was president then, where we talked about the environment. He was involved deeply, as we all know, in restoring physical fitness in this country. He challenged at one point during his administration, he challenged Americans to do a 50-mile walk, which I ultimately did. But I remember the day that my father completed his walk. We were staying up at Camp David. And my father came in after 18 hours walking on the CNO towpath with his feet bleeding and blisters on them. My father had one of his best friends was Al Lowenstein. And Al Lowenstein ultimately was a congressman from New York who was assassinated himself in 1980. But Al Lowenstein had started the Dump Johnson movement to get rid of President Johnson and end the Vietnam War. And at the time that he started it, people just thought it was a fool's errand. And ultimately, he asked my father to run for president against Johnson. My father wouldn't do it at that time. And he asked Gene McCarthy. McCarthy did it, and he joined that campaign. And my father ultimately ran, and Johnson then dropped out. So Al Lowenstein succeeded. And although Al Lowenstein was on the other side now, running against my father with Gene McCarthy, my father wrote him a note, a quote from Emerson, where he said, if a single man plant himself firmly on his own ideal and there abide, the whole wide world will come around to him. Or
if you find yourself walking less and feeling bloated, these insoles are the thing you need.
Sorry,
Have you heard about
I could
Akasoli?
not, edit
These are the
that.
cutting-edge orthopedic.
20 years, I've gotten up every morning on my knees and prayed that God would put me in a position where I can end the childhood chronic disease epidemic in this country. On August 23rd of last year,
God sent me President Trump. And he gave me he's now given me, he's kept every promise that he's made to me. He's kept his word in every account and gone way beyond it. I'm so grateful to you, Mr. President. A lot of people told me that I couldn't trust President Trump. I better get it in writing. And we did a handshake, and everything that he told me he was going to do, he has done. And I'm so grateful to him. And I've told you before, I genuinely believe that you are a pivotal historical figure, and you are going to transform this country at a time when we see all of the indicia of democracy now in tatters in our country. We see the rise of the military-industrial complex, the rise of totalitarianism, these attacks on our Constitution, and this breathtaking epidemic that is disabling our people. President Trump has promised to restore the American dream in this country. A healthy person has 1,000 dreams. A sick person only has one. 60% of our population has only one dream, that they get better. President Trump has promised that he's going to restore America's strength. But we can't be a strong nation if we have a weak citizenry. If people are sick, 60% of our people are sick, 77%, as President Trump mentioned, of our children cannot qualify for military service. And we need a man on a white horse now. We need somebody who is willing to come in and has the spine and the guts and the strength to challenge orthodoxies, to stand in the way of vested interests, and to break institutions that have turned against our democracy. President Trump has shown again and again that he is that hero. And most recently, I greatly appreciate it, and I called you the day that you announced the termination of USAID. My uncle started USAID in 1961 for humanitarian purposes, to put our country on the side of the poor. It has been captured by the military-industrial complex. It has become a sinister propagator of totalitarianism and war across the globe. And very few people understand how sinister this agency really is. And President Trump saw that, and he stood up to it with a masterstroke. And we want to do the same thing with the institutions that are stealing the health of our children. We need a revolutionary figure, and you are that figure, and I'm very grateful for you for giving me this opportunity. I want to recognize some of the allies that I've had in this battle for a long time: Senator Rand Paul, Senator Ron Johnson, Senator Roger Marshall, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Buddy Carter, who've all been champions of the MAHA agenda before I even came along. I'm very grateful for you for standing strong. Thank you very much, President Trump.
You're running it. You're doing a great job. Let's find out a lot of secrets that have been maybe kept from us, but he's going to come up with some solutions to some big problems, self problems. I think he's going to go down in the record books. I really have confidence. This group has great, even Rand has confidence. So that's, it doesn't have to all.
What are your plans day one, which I guess is today?
Our plans are radical transparency and returning gold standard science to NIH, to FDA, and CDC, to ending the corruption, ending the corporate capture of those agencies, getting rid of the people on those panels that have conflicts of interest. We can do unadored and unimpeded science rather than the kind of product that is coming out of those agencies today.
Secretary, may I ask, how do you address concerns that some Americans may have about your stance on vaccines?
when people actually hear what I think about vaccines, which is common sense, which is vaccines should be tested, they should be safe, everybody should have informed consent. People are reacting because they hear things about me that aren't true. They hear characterizations of things that I've said that are simply not true. When they hear what I have to say actually about vaccines, everybody supports it.
Mr. Kennedy, RFK from Lindell TV. What's your message to Democrats in the Senate that fought so hard to keep you from taking this position? And congratulations, Wayne.
President Trump has promised to be the president for all Americans, and he has said to me that he understands that there's no such thing as Republican children or Democratic children. All of our children need to be protected, and whether you're in a blue state or red state, I'm going to do everything I can to work with you, whether you're Democrat or Republican, restore child's health in this country.
Great job. Great job. Thank you all very much.
That is about the swearing in ceremony. So once again, congratulations. Now we have all heard what it means to America and the world. The CDC, the FDA, NIH, he will get rid of the corruption there. There will be radical transparency, and he will remove the chronic epidemics, the so-called epidemics. The Nexus corporate Texas is gone, Mr. Bill Gates and all. I'll play just some of those characteristic Kennedy's this thing.
Does what he promises to do. Why is that controversial?
It's controversial because he's going to be overseeing, I think it's 11 different agencies, from the FDA, the USDA, the NIH, and the list goes on, the CDC. So the lobbies of big farming, big pharma, big food, and big insurance are in an absolute panic. He is going to tear down their multi-billion-dollar industries. When you think about how much of our tax subsidy dollars go to companies like Monsanto, which he sued, by the way, and won the suit against them, go to companies like Monsanto to create genetically engineered crops covered in pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, chemical fertilizers that they sell that poison us, that make us sick, that destroy our environment. He's going to stop that. And that's the tip of this iceberg, and they are in a panic.
He has to go in there and break that entire system to smithereens. Do you expect, I'm talking massive resistance.
For the games that you're playing, Mr. Kennedy.
Here are the safety studies that tell us mifepristone is safe and effective. He may have the opportunity to bankrupt the vaccine manufacturers, and then nobody gets vaccine. Well, look, no one should be fooled here.
Because if he's put in charge and he does what he promises to do, why is that controversial?
It's controversial because he's going to be overseeing, I think it's a...
Yeah, I'm just giving you what he can do and what he has promised already. And do listen to this man.
That's
what knowledge he has got.
Benefit. The key thing you can do to reduce population growth is actually improve health.
In the developed countries, the big winners are countries that have shrinking populations.
I would like to reduce the number of people on the planet because there's too many of us. When we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population.
Reduce population. This is the agenda. Not reduce the population in a prop. Do you agree with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. that televised pharmaceutical ads should be banned? Why should pharmacies go for ads? They have to research the drugs and it has to go through a proper safety, efficacy, immunogenicity, all measures like what vaccines are. Then why should you publicize them? They're all in public domain. I'm not playing anything which is out of my this thing. Now you listen to him.
RFK and vaccines and what he's saying about it and the position he's been given in this incoming administration.
Well, he wrote a book saying that Tony Fauci and I kill millions of children and make billions of dollars with vaccines. And, people can judge for themselves whether that's correct or not.
What do you make of?
Why are you not suing him, Mr. Bill Gates and Dr. Fauci? Why are you not suing Canada? Monsanto, they have sued him and he has won the suit against those fellows who have been poisoning the entire food and environment through such pesticides and artificial seeds. So then there it starts. The Monsanto, the foods which you eat, they are artificial, chemically very poisonous. From there your health goes down. So your food should be your medicine. మనం తినే ఆహారమే ఔషధం కావాలి. जो आहार हम खाते हैं वही औषध होना चाहिए. इसीलिए अगर बिल गेट्स को उन्होंने बुक में लिखा है कि बिल गेट्स या फौसी ये दोनों की वजह से अमेरिका के बच्चों की नाश हुई है, यही कहता है यहाँ पर. अगर वो सही है, अगर वो सही नहीं है कैनेडी, उसको कोर्ट में लाके क्यों सू नहीं करते बिल गेट्स और డాక్టర్ ఫౌసీ? ఎందుకు వారు కోర్టుకి ఇచ్చి నష్టపరిహారం కానీ వారిపై కోర్టు కేసులు ఎందుకు వేయడం లేదు బిల్ గేట్స్ కానీ డాక్టర్ ఫౌసీ కానీ? కెనడీ క్లియర్గా చెప్తా ఉన్నాడు, బిల్ గేట్స్ ఫౌసీ వల్లనే వాళ్ళ అమెరికా పిల్లలకు ఈరోజు ఇటువంటి ఆరోగ్యపరమైనటువంటి కష్టాలు, వినాశనం. 80% మంది పిల్లలు మిలిటరీ పరంగా కూడా వారు పనికిరాని విధంగా ఈరోజు తయారయ్యారని ప్రెసిడెంట్ ట్రంప్ చెప్పాడు అక్కడ కెనడీ. మరి అటువంటప్పుడు వీరు నిజంగా తప్పు చేయకపోతే కెనడీపై కేసు ఎందుకు వేయలేదు బిల్ గేట్స్ అండ్ డాక్టర్ ఫౌసీ? అందు గురించి ఆలోచన చేయండి. మనపై రుద్దుతున్నది ఇండియన్ మెడికల్ అసోసియేషన్, ఇండియన్ కౌన్సిల్ ఆఫ్ మెడికల్ రీసెర్చ్, మన భారతీయ వ్యవస్థ ఏ విధంగా మనపై అనారోగ్యకరమైనటువంటి ఆహారం, దాని ద్వారా వచ్చేటువంటి ఆ విషపూరితమైనటువంటి మందుల రూపంలో పండించేటువంటి ఆహారం మళ్ళీ అదే విషపూరితమైనటువంటి మందులు నివారణ అని టీకాల ద్వారా మనపై వేయడం మనను నాశనం చేయడానికి కాదా? ఆలోచన చేయండి. అందు గురించి నేను ఈ వీడియోస్ అన్ని ప్లే చేస్తాను. ఇవన్నీ పబ్లిక్ డొమైన్ లోనే ఉన్నాయి.
RFK and vaccines and what he's saying about it and the position he's been given in this incoming administration.
Well, he wrote a book saying that Tony Fauci and I kill millions of children and make billions of dollars with vaccines. And, people can judge for themselves whether that's correct or not.
So he agreeing that Fauci, Kennedy has written a book on Bill Gates and Fauci that they are destroying children's health at the cost of making huge profits in the name of vaccines. Then why are they not suing? That is why the words, mark the words of Kennedy, gold standard science, radical transparency, ending corruption in NIH, FDA, and CDC, also corrupt corporates, ending corrupt corporates, joining such type of organizations. He wants to remove all chronic diseases, epidemic diseases from America. That is a big, big takeaway. This is what really matters. That is why they moved World Health Organization. Now they have got their own independent policy. Why not India? Think about it. I think last one. Yeah. Pharma made $1.27 trillion last year profit, but not a single cent was spent teaching you how to get healthier. Their priority isn't your health, it is their profits. It is their profit. This is official. You can go and check. And the world is addicted to synthetic medicine. Time to seek other alternatives that don't have debilitating long-term side effects. Pharmaceutical companies must be held accountable for their actions and products. So this is for today. And again, wishing, and let me hear this also.
I would not take the flu shot.
On flu also, how now America has realized.
And I'll tell you why, because this is what Cochrane and BMJ have found. People who take the flu shot are protected against that strain of flu. They're 4.4 times more likely to get a non-flu infection. And you might find, and a lot of people do, that they get the flu shot and then they get sick. They're usually not getting the flu. They're getting something that is indistinguishable from the flu because the flu shot gives you something called pathogenic priming. injures your immune system so that you're more likely to get a non-flu viral upper respiratory infection. In fact, the Pentagon published a story, and you can cite this, it's by Wolfe, W-O-L-F-E, in January of this year, in which they said that the flu shot not only primes you for flu, but it primes you for coronavirus. If you get, they had a placebo group and they had a vaccine group because they wanted for military readiness to see if the flu shot was prophylactic against coronavirus. What they found is actually the people who got the flu shot were 36% more likely to get coronavirus. And that's not a lone study. We found 6 other major studies that say the same thing. If you get the flu shot, you're more likely to get coronavirus. We're in a million years, I would not take the flu shot.
It is being publicized because they are dumping into India. All citizens, be careful about flu shot. What the new US Health and Human Rights Secretary said, unscientific, and it is not preventive at all. Then we leave it to you. It is your own judgment. क्योंकि फ्लू के जो है वहां अमेरिका में बंद हो रही है, वो पूरे इंडिया पे डाल रहे हैं, किस तरह पब्लिसिटी की जा रही है, आप ही सोचिए उन्होंने क्या कहा కెనడీ ने. మీరే ఆలోచన చేయండి కెనడీ ఏమన్నాడు ఫ్లూ షాట్స్ గురించి. అవన్నీ అక్కడ మొత్తం మానేస్తా ఉన్నారు కాబట్టి అమెరికాలో అవన్నీ తెచ్చి భారతదేశం మీద వేస్తూ ఉంటే మన ప్రధానమంత్రి గారు బీజేపీ గవర్నమెంట్ మరి మెజారిటీ హిందూ గవర్నమెంట్ అంటారు, ఎప్పుడు చూసినా మరి హిందువుల ఆరోగ్యం ఈ విధంగా పోవడం మీకు ఇష్టమేనా? మీరే ఆలోచన చేయండి. మేము శాస్త్రీయం ఆధారాలతో పెడతాం. ఎవరైనా రావచ్చు, మమ్మల్ని ఛాలెంజ్ చేయొచ్చు. నా నంబర్ 9440465339. Anyone can challenge us and participate in our show. Prove us wrong, because we always preach and talk and disseminate information which is scientific, which is truthful, and which is logically correct. And if you are wrong, you can prove us wrong. My number is 9440465339. You can participate on my show from wherever you are. I will connect. We can do a show, but it should be as per rule of law, constitution, invoking evidential act with no enmity against individuals, nor animosity against parties or organizations. You have seen we work so hard to get these evidences, all these videos, which are there in the public domain. That is the reason why DRTSPR channel, Citizens DRTSPR channel, and Environment People DRTSPR channel, they are all been admired by people across the globe. Though our subscribers never increase, our viewers never increase, still it is reaching masses because we always wanted to disseminate correct information. And it is for the citizens of my state, Telangana, my country, India, and the world over to understand and to act, because everyone is independent. It is their fundamental right to health and right to life, and also right to good food, which only they have to decide. We are here to provide information which is truthful, which is evidence-based, and which is science. In the words of Kennedy, the gold standard science. That is what we practice, we preach, we disseminate on behalf of DRTSPR channels and all those wonderful guests who have been there throughout this COVID-19 journey. When media was preaching only fear, DRTSPR channels through wonderful guests was preaching science, truth, and logic, which removed fear. By that way, many could survive. And that is why we request all of you to support DRTSPR channels, Citizens DRTSPR channel, and Environment People DRTSPR channels. They are all in larger public interest only. That is why now when I said what it means to the world, the swearing in ceremony of our good friend Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he is going to remove all those chronic diseases. 80% of American children, they cannot qualify for military. And then 60%, as they say, they are sick. They think only about one thing, that is how to get better. But when you are healthy, you can think in many ways. But if you are sick, you will think only in one way, how to get better. Is that what India wants? Rise about all these things. We have all 4 seasons we enjoy, and it is the natural immunity which should be helping you to overcome any disease or disorder. And again, We are not against any science, whether it is Western science or Indians, Ayurveda, naturopathy, or homeopathy, whatever it is. We have to integrate the health science to see that the nation stays healthy. Nation can prevent diseases, but with informed consent, with absolute knowledge of medicines, vaccines, what does they contain? Only then the concerned citizen will act. The diseased citizen will act on his own volition. That is the information we need to provide. That means there should be radical transparency, ending absolute corruption, so that every act which concerns health, life, and food is accountable. Otherwise, the nation will become sick and sick and sick. Thank you very much. Jai Telangana, Jai Bharat. I would always say Jai world, a healthy Telangana, a healthy India. Thank you very much.